Forget sharks. Everyone's scared of sharks. The teeth, the size, the whole cinematic history of the thing. But sharks kill maybe 6 people a year worldwide. The animals on this list don't make the news. They don't get movies. Nobody's scared of them, because most people don't even know they exist. They should. We're going through the most horrifying ways to die in the animal kingdom. Not the most violent, not the biggest, the most scientifically disturbing. The ones that, once you understand the mechanism, you won't be able to stop thinking about. The botfly, Dermatobia hominis, found in Central and South America, but increasingly showing up in travelers returning to the US. Here's how it works. The botfly doesn't lay its eggs on you directly. It catches a mosquito, glues its eggs to the mosquito's abdomen, and releases it. When that mosquito lands on warm skin to feed, the body heat triggers the eggs to hatch instantly. The larvae drop onto the skin and burrow in. They grow under your skin for 8 to 12 weeks. They breathe through the surface. If you look closely at an infected area, you can see tiny movement. They have backward-facing spines that anchor them in place so they can't be squeezed out. The standard removal method is covering the breathing hole with petroleum jelly to suffocate them out. Sometimes surgical extraction. Either way, something that was living inside you for 2 months comes out alive. The worst part, scientifically, isn't the pain. It's the fact that the larva releases compounds that suppress your immune response, so your body doesn't attack it. It's managing your biology from inside your skin. Next, the tongue-eating louse, Cymothoa exigua, and the name tells you almost nothing about how deeply wrong this creature is. It enters a fish through the gills as a juvenile. Once inside, it makes its way to the tongue. It attaches to the base of the tongue and starts cutting off blood supply. The tongue atrophies and falls away. The louse then attaches itself to the stub where the tongue was. It becomes the tongue. It functions as the fish's tongue for the rest of the fish's life. The fish uses it to eat. The louse feeds on the fish's mucus and blood in return. They share a mouth. The fish is alive. The louse is alive. There are 2 creatures operating what used to be one fish's face. It's the only known case in nature of a parasite functionally replacing a host organ. Scientists describe it as parasitism so advanced it crosses into something else entirely. A partnership the fish never agreed to and can't escape. The Saculina barnacle. It finds a crab. It injects a tiny mass of cells into a joint. Those cells spread through the crab's entire body as a network of root-like tendrils, threading through every organ, every limb, every part of the nervous system. Then, it takes over. If the crab is male, the Saculina feminizes it, changes its hormone levels, widens its abdomen, rewires its instincts. The male crab begins behaving exactly like a female crab carrying for eggs. Except the eggs aren't his. They're the barnacles. The crab fans them, protects them, nurtures them with the same instinctive care a female crab gives her own offspring. It carries another creature's children with its own body, using its own energy, because something has reached into its brain and rewritten what it understands as parenthood. And it will do this until it dies. The jewel wasp, Ampulex compressa, metallic blue-green, about 2 centimeters long, genuinely beautiful, and it performs neurosurgery. When the jewel wasp finds a cockroach, it stings it twice. The first sting temporarily paralyzes the front legs. The second sting is the disturbing part. It goes directly into a specific region of the cockroach's brain, the escape circuit, with enough precision to block the escape reflex without killing or fully paralyzing the roach. The cockroach can still walk, can still move. It just can't initiate escape behavior. The will to run is gone. The wasp then bites off half of each antenna, drinks the hemolymph that leaks out for nutrition, and leads the cockroach by its remaining antenna stub into a burrow, like walking a dog that doesn't know it shouldn't follow. Inside the burrow, the wasp lays a single egg on the cockroach's leg, seals the entrance.
The mantis shrimp. We've covered this creature before on this channel, but it belongs on this list because of what its strike actually does at a physics level. The punch lands at 23 meters per second. That's roughly the speed of a bullet leaving a small caliber firearm. The force is around 1,500 newtons from an animal you could hold in your hand. But the punch itself isn't actually what kills. It's what happens in the water around the punch. The speed creates a cavitation bubble, a pocket of near vacuum that forms and collapses in microseconds. At the moment of collapse, the temperature inside that bubble briefly reaches close to the surface of the sun. The shock wave from the collapse hits the target as a second impact. One strike, two hits. The first from the claw, the second from the physics of water being pushed past its limits. Prey doesn't just get hit. The water around it briefly becomes something it was never supposed to be.
The bombardier beetle. Small, brown, looks like nothing. Inside its abdomen, it stores two chemicals in separate chambers, hydroquinone and hydrogen peroxide. Kept apart, they're stable. The moment the beetle feels threatened, it combines them in a reaction chamber with enzymes that trigger an explosive oxidation reaction. The result is a jet of boiling liquid, literally 100 degrees Celsius, fired from a rotating nozzle at the tip of its abdomen with directional control at a rate of 500 pulses per second. It can aim. It can fire repeatedly. The spray is accurate enough to hit a specific threat from multiple angles. A beetle the size of your thumbnail is carrying a precision chemical weapon that fires boiling liquid 500 times per second. It's been doing this for 250 million years. Scientists have studied the pulse mechanism, trying to apply it to fuel injection systems and jet engines. The beetle figured out the engineering problem long before aerospace did.
6 animals. None of them are on the poster. None of them are in the movie. Nobody's scared of them at the beach. The botfly rewires your immune system from inside your skin. The tongue louse becomes part of a fish's face. The Saculina barnacle turns a crab into a parent for someone else's children. The jewel wasp performs targeted neurosurgery with a stinger. The mantis shrimp turns water into a weapon. The bombardier beetle invented pulse jet propulsion 250 million years before we did. These things are not rare. They're not deep-sea mysteries. They are operating right now. In backyards, in oceans, in the body of a cockroach in a sealed burrow somewhere, doing what they've always done. And you thought getting stung by a bee was bad?